What's good with you guys? It's Jibril, and I'm gonna give you 5 signs you're dealing with a sellout. So the first sign you're dealing with a black sellout is if they have personal/romantic relationships outside of their race. Unfortunately, more and more black people are becoming multicultural, and the reason why I find it unfortunate is because we include and interact with other race groups that don't truly accept us for being black. There's a lot of colorism and animosity in literally every single race group. I can't think of one race group that has ever took our side and will ever take the side of black people. I also find it unfortunate how black people oftentimes allow other race groups to disrespect the black race. But to keep it short and simple, the reason why I can't trust any black person in a platonic or romantic relationship is because there's a higher chance of them fighting for another race group against our own race group. Not just that, but when you hang out with other ethnic groups, you have to be more cautious in case of not hurting their feelings. So that means you can't express yourself at your truest form. And oftentimes, black people don't act in their truest forms when hanging out with other ethnic groups. So if you're not in your truest form when hanging out with other race groups, what's there to say that you are willing to be honest with black people? Personally, I can't comprehend how we have black people trying to build strong connections with other race groups, but won't attempt to build strong relationships within their own race group. I believe that one of the main reasons why the black community is falling apart is because we aren't trying to build strong connections with our own people. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't respect other race groups, but I find it uncanny for anybody to respect other ethnic groups more than their own race group. And recently, I've been catching more and more black people go out of their way to disrespect their whole race group in front of people with a different ethnicity. And I definitely find it more common in interracial relationships where a black man or a black woman is mainly dealing with a white man or a white woman. And I still can't comprehend why it's done, other than the black man or the black woman trying to establish their loyalty to the person they're dating. You don't ever witness white men or white women, when dating out of their race, disrespect their own race group. So why do you as a black person disrespect your own race group? It's because of self-hatred. The reason why you're dating out of your race group in the first place is because you hate your black skin and black people. Now, I've asked a couple of black men why they are in love with white women, and the main reason why these black men date white women is because they hate black women. Now, they might not hate black women, but there's something about the black woman that displeases them that has them running to white women. A great example is the stereotypical attitude of black women. And these types of people tend to choose the easy route. These people could care less about their own people. Now, it is scientifically proven that we prefer to hang out with people similar to us. So if you are voluntarily deciding to befriend a race of people that have caused us the most destruction, that implies to me that you're selfish. I want to ask black people this question. If you was a black person that was dehumanized, berated, and dismantled by a particular race group, would you allow your grandchildren to befriend the race of people that hurt you? Every other race group, no matter what race of people they hang out with, will always prioritize their own people aside from black people. So if you want to witness your race of people doing better, then you have to prioritize your own people. The fact that you can look at white people dead in their eyes, the fact that you can look at Arab dead in their eyes, the fact that you can look at Indian dead in their eyes and accept what they've done to our people is ridiculous. Now, I'm going to refer to them as biracial just so we understand who I'm referring to. But it's not biracial people's faults that they're biracial. I'm not going to tell them to not love their parent. In fact, do so. It's your parent after all. But we wouldn't be having to deal with such racial ambiguity if we weren't mixing with a bunch of... Now, the second type of black sellouts are the extrinsically motivated black people. Now, to be extrinsically motivated is to be driven by external rewards such as money, adulation, and grades. There are black people that value materialism over their own people. We have had black people die literally over shoes and clothes. And the reason why we have black people so fixated on certain clothing brands and fashion brands, etc., is because they lack self-esteem. They lack self-value, so as a result, they try to add value through the items they buy. There's actually a positive correlation between narcissism and extrinsic goals. And highly materialistic people report higher levels of unhappiness, are more insecure, have a higher chance of developing mental illnesses such as depression and anxiety. And at the current state black people are in, we can't be dealing with black people that lack self-confidence and only care about themselves. Now the third sign of a black sellout is if they gossip. Highly narcissistic people tend to gossip.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now.
And it's actually been proven that people that gossip actually have low self-esteem. And the reason why I can't trust a gossiper is, for one, we're not perfect. We all have our flaws. And two, if they're willing to gossip about anybody else, what's there to say that if we fell out, they wouldn't gossip about me? People that solely judge others hate being judged themselves. And unfortunately, it's very prevalent amongst our community to judge our own and to slander and expose our own people, but to never work on ourselves and work on our own people. Now the fourth sign of a black sellout is a black immigrant. How can you leave your own people in your country to suffer? Now I don't have an issue with black immigrants migrating from one country to another. However, a lot of black immigrants, if we had to be honest, particularly African immigrants, come over to these countries and they believe that they're better than every single black person that was born here in this country. And they're almost without a doubt more likely to work with white people and other race groups aside from our own. They help out white people believing that it will gain white people's respect. It won't gain white people's respect. And yet you want to claim that you're African. True African culture believes in collectivism. True African culture believes in honesty. And true African culture believes in respecting your own people. But you don't view us as your own people. In fact, you probably see more of a resemblance to white people than black people. But, of course, there's a reason why you're here. And no wonder why you fit in. Because you're just like the white man. Selfish, greedy, and narcissistic. Don't just come over here for economic reasons. They often come here for sexual opportunities as well as social opportunities. And unfortunately, a lot of these African immigrants that migrate to Britain raise their children in Britain to become complete and utter sellouts. And the fifth sign of a black sellout are black substance users / smokers. For one, it's not good for you to smoke e-cigs and marijuana and take all these drugs and drink alcohol. And for you to voluntarily take all these detrimental substances, knowing full well that it's hurting you, implies that you don't care about yourself as much as you should. And you have unresolved issues you have to deal with. Now, it's not the fact that you smoke and drink and take all these other substances to cope with your problems that makes you a sellout. It's the fact that I witness a lot of these smokers and a lot of these drinkers and a lot of these black substance users, especially abusers, not respecting their own people, lacking compassion for their own people, as well as loyalty for their own people. And in fact, there's actually a link between narcissism and substance use, with 1 in 5 cannabis smokers having narcissistic personality disorder. So those are the 5 signs of a black sellout. If you don't agree with me, let me know in the comments below. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, peace, and take care of yourselves, man.